Before starting with my introductory, I wanted just to let you know that we have prepared, as always, an out-of-the-box symposium. We have strong technical sessions, but we also have a very rich social program. So tonight, in this room, we'll have a dinner and the show is a very interesting show, but we'll start with a kind of private conversation with two Nobel Prize winners, Professor Shetman and Professor Smoot. It will be very interesting in this stage, and after that we'll follow a very interesting show. Tomorrow is the show in the beach, literally in the sand. We have the Mexican show there, the dancing show, the dinner is in the beach, the tables are in the beach, and on Wednesday is official gala in this room, followed by international show. Very interesting program with 3 speeches from 2 different Nobel Prize winners and also a show at the end. So the idea is, why I'm saying out of the box, is that this follows our philosophy that you are the most important people in the world. That's my subject of my presentation. So you deserve the 5-star hotels, and you should not be considered by the society like only working horses. So you have to enjoy life, and the society should respect you more. That's the purpose of this, my presentation here, that has a reflection from the Dan Shetman story. So I mentioned sustainability because sustainability for me is everything. So what's the role of science, engineering, management, and politics on sustainability? So, and I start from some reflection related to Dan Shetman's story. Imagine yourself here. Imagine I am the president of American Chemical Society. You know, and I publicly attack somebody in the room here. So somebody discovered long ago the quasi-periodic materials or quasi-crystals. And apparently the guy was the president of American Chemical Society. It was a well-known one. And then one of the public pronunciation was that there are no quasi-crystals, are only quasi-scientists. So imagine yourself to be here and I say this. So, but that's the real story, what happened about 30 years ago. So how you would have felt if somebody, as president of Chemical Society, would have declared like this in front of 2,000 people. Yet, 30 years later, this discovery won a Nobel Prize for chemistry, changed the entire concepts of our philosophy on the chemistry. And today, our first sponsor is American Chemical Society. So you see how things have changed around, and it's a real story of scientific conviction and courage. But how this is related to the sustainability? It is too much related, so that's what we're going to try to go over. So, unfortunately enough, there are journalists, there are movie stars, TV stars that speak about environment. They speak about ecology. But sustainability is a different story. Why is it a different story? Because, let's start with this. It's a survey, a recent survey in 20 countries. The most pressing issue is the poverty in the world and the environmental degradation, which is the ecology. That means that ecology is just one, but one of the most important ones. And what do we expect? This is the perception of the society. So how to fix this? And you are expecting something serious. But actually, what we see is a paradox. In a recent poll in Italy, teenagers were asked, what do you want to become in the future? And the reply was 90% movie and TV stars. So, on the other side, we have environmental degradation, poverty. But then we want to become all movie stars. It's not only Italy. Italy is but just an example because that's where the poll was taken. But it's almost everywhere in developed countries. So I have a link with Italy. I'm not against Italy, you know. So, but this is the reality. This is a paradox. Then, how many politicians today have a scientific background? So, you'll see the figures and you'll be surprised. So. And then how was the number of scientists, engineers who have courage to get into politics and challenge the politicians, the all over, they have been all life in politics. Just a few. You guys are afraid. Probably me too, but you shouldn't. We have examples here that tried. First try doesn't mean is not. First, there is never no failure, as John says, but it's a first try. We have example here is Dan Shetman. We have John here. They all tried unsuccessfully, but it was the first try. Correct, John? Okay, so at least we have to tackle this. Now, I know political class very well. I have debated, I have friends, I have enemies, and I did prime ministers, I know ministers, members of parliament, senate, and so on. And all they like sustainability. The issue is they view sustainability only from the viewpoint of TV, movie stars, and journalists. You people, we don't speak too much, you know, about the environment and so on. Seems they speak more and they know more. So even arguing about sustainability. So, what's the perception? That's pollution, yes, correct? But there are some companies now that you see here, only steam is coming from the chimneys. But the perception of the society, this is pollution, even if it is a steam. Why we are actually one of the biggest polluters, to tell the truth, until now. So by being the biggest polluter, the challenge is here. We have to change things. And the money has to come here to flow to the universities, to the research centers, to change this reality. Can we do it without this? We cannot at the moment. So that's a challenge. But unfortunately, the picture is not good. In the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, we don't see technology as a major issue. Nobody speaks about technology. Nobody will speak about your profession. We have some lawyers here, and I'm glad that they're going to get the point. So, this is World Business Council of Sustainable Development didn't consider technology as a mean to reach sustainability. They even don't mention it. They say it's not the solution. The picture is not good. My friend Jeffrey Sachs, special advisor of the United Nations Secretary General, special advisor. We had a debate in 2011 with him. He was ready to have an agreement between governments and shut down all industries that do not reduce carbon footprint. I disagree. I said to him that we can reach this through technology. He was against that. We agreed to disagree. But he's a special advisor. Okay? In New York Times article recently, big article, almost full page, how technology wrecks middle class. Against technology. So, computerization for them was not good. And you might think it might be a journalist who has written this. Actually, it's not true. It is a professor of economics at MIT and another economic professor in Spain. So basically, the idea is that technology is not good. We are being automated or computerized too much. And then there are other things. Are we in danger losing the race against machine? Are we becoming enslaved of our robot overloads? Do smart machines threaten us in a long-term misery? They are all known people. None of them scientists in the exact science, but they are social scientists. Okay? So that's the reality that we have to challenge. Now, ecology is different from sustainability, as I said. Why? Because ecology is just ecology. Sustainability is a bigger issue, and the definition has been for a long time. We have basically to fulfill the needs now and keep the future generation the same opportunities. It's very simple. And basically, I'm not going around here. We have to be social, to have social development, we have to have protection of environment at the same time, and to have the economy being developed. The growth, we cannot do without growth, and this is overlooked. And then if we fulfill all of them, we have a sustainable development. However, the confusion in literatures is immense. If you go in the vocabulary and see the terms, you will get confused. I'm not going into details. You can check it yourself. So in order to have equitable development, we have economy and social at the same time. That's the two major things we have to keep in mind. Poor people versus rich people. Sometimes sheltering homeless is considered sustainable. It's not for us. What is sustainable? Charity is good. It's a good activity. We like this. We have to do. Everybody has to do it. But to be sustainable, we have to work differently. Creating the condition for poor people and poor countries raise themselves in their feet. This holds for poor people. This holds for poor countries. It's the same thing. I'm not going into details. Now, my son, 11 years old, he told me today, one day, if some extremist, I am green also, I'm a green person, but he said if some extreme Green Party wins the election, we'd have no more toilets, but everybody will do it natural. We'll have no more parliament, it will be a huge tent. We cannot write emails anymore. People will run to deliver, and we'll not have any more TV, but wooden boxes and marionettes. So the idea is, in order to protect the environment, we should not sacrifice the achievements we have today. And this is achieved only through technology and scientific work. But there are so many paradoxes and in the literature, nothing to do with the science and technology, just environmental journals managed by environmentalists with no scientific backgrounds and so on. So they say by 2050 there will not be enough water for the entire population. That's true. However, the remedy, they say do not let the tap water run in vain. That's a good thing. It's very good. I agree with that. However, this will not save the world in the future. What will save in the world is in front of you, new technologies. So that will save the world. You know, in Singapore, for example, the toilet water is recycled. Develop new types of sensors and so on. But this is all your subject, your work. There are other paradoxes, water pollution and contamination. Ask people, and the remedy is ask people not to wash frequently. This will save the world. What will save the world is if you work and find a solution in a technological way. In the future, in the long term, if we wash it with different detergent, clean, dry, and so on and so on. So you have the keys of future sustainability developments as a scientist. And then car and petrol contamination. It's true, but what they suggest in Environment Magazine, remove the unnecessary objects from the car in order to use less petrol. And somebody said, okay, I removed all friends from my car, which is in disagreement with the pool carring, which is real saving. So it's huge confusion. But in the long term, this is the real solution. It's your work. You are the most important people to develop new technologies, carbon neutral, and new method of transport and so on. And there are many, I'm not going to go in details, but there are many paradoxes and so on in inefficient use of energy. Close all nuclear reactors. Why? Because they're not safe. Safety can be improved by science and technology. You know, there is no technology without the risk. It's up to you to develop it and to remove the safety factor out of the picture. And this is your duty also. There are other many things, lack of awareness, light. For example, we need to use less light possible. And then we have an Earth Hour every year. Very good activity, I agree with this. But this is just awareness of the population. Will this really save the world? It will make people more aware, but what's really will save the world? What will save the world is you guys, new technologies, low energy lights, and so on and so on. So, and developing new automation technique. I'm showing you a video which is humoristic about the Earth Hour. And you'll see that there are many people shout about environment and Earth Hour, but at the end, they use means that are completely against protecting the resources and the energy. So it's very interesting, you will see.
This Saturday, citizens across the globe turn out their lights for 1 hour to help the environment.
I want to help the environment, but turning off all my lights is such a chore.
Introducing the Earth Hour Light Zapper. It's the handheld electronic tool that automatically turns off your lights for Earth Hour.
All right, Dad! Go environment!
Utilizing 6,000 volts of electrostatic energy, Earth Hour Light Zapper sends out an electronic dampening field that automatically turns off lights all over your house. No more painful reaching for the light switch.
Oh. But what if the power goes out during Earth Hour?
Luckily, Earth Hour Light Zapper comes with a diesel-powered backup generator.
Now I'm really ready to sit in the dark.
Plus, it's Xbox compatible, so you can survive an hour without resorting to conversation.
I'll be upstairs drinking, kids. Call me if there's a fire.
Cleanup couldn't be easier. When Earth Hour is over, throw it in the garbage.
Earth Hour is awesome! Can we do something for the environment again, Dad?
Next year, kids. Next year.
The Earth Hour Light Zapper, a token gesture never felt so good. From Greenco, your environmentally friendly plastics and consumer home diesel generator company.
So you get the idea. It's without definition, everything can be considered and can be claimed to be environmentally friendly, but actually it is not. I'm passing this. And then we have to develop the economy. The growth is very important. If we don't have the growth, then we are nowhere. Then they say by 2050, population will not have enough food to feed 9 billion of people. But then the suggestion is, okay, eat 2 times per day instead of 3. Well, it's good probably, but what it saves the world in the future is your work. Higher productivity in the field and in the corns and so on. So it's a scientific solution, especially in long terms. All the others are short term. And the paradoxes continue. I'm not going to go to all of them. Do not develop the rural areas because they have to keep it fresh as they are and without removing any of those. It's good, but those areas have also the right to be developed. But there is a way to develop through science and technology and keep the environment at the same time. It's not understood, and this is your role. Energy. Close down all nuclear reactors I mentioned. Because why? Because of the safety issue. Safety issue is your work. You have to. In Japan, for example, I was in a meeting. Everybody was speaking about after disaster control. Nobody was speaking how to make them safe. Through technology. And they continue. Energy productions. Discards everything. We don't need a heavy energy. And almost we see the reality that we really do not know where the energy comes from because we don't know really which one is safe and which one is really not safe and which is environmentally friendly. Another video and you'll see.
Protests against the oil sands. Lawsuits to shut down wind turbines. Community outrage stops a natural gas power plant. Who knows where power is coming from in the future?
We know Canada's candlelight providers are ready. Ready for the surge in demand that comes from people wanting to turn the lights on, but rejecting every possible means of making that happen.
Candles got us through the 18th century, and they'll get us through the 21st.
I like shaving by candlelight, but how do I know I'll always have enough candle supply?
Because Canada is the Saudi Arabia of wax.
Is it environmentally friendly?
You betcha. You can prevent soot emissions with proper wick trimming.
How do candles stack up against other forms of power?
They're #1 for safe storage, #1 for smelling like cinnamon, and #2 for repelling insects.
Candles. We'll be here through every rolling blackout.
official light source of the 1896 Olympic Games.
So it's clear, I cannot say anything. And then at the end, we have to fulfill on both, growth, social development and environmental protection. Otherwise, we are not sustainable. And what do we need? We need cooperation between sciences. If we work only in our closed field of science, we will not understand the big picture. And then we can make everything black look like red, like the last video that I'm showing to you, a message from oil producers. You can interpret any way things you want.
People say big oil doesn't care about the environment. That's just not true. In fact, we're announcing a breakthrough in solar power. It's called oil. Oil comes from prehistoric plants, and plants grow from the sun. So oil power is solar power. Sort of.
Oil power is solar power.
Yes, that's right. A barrel of oil is like a barrel of sunshine. That's why every oil slick contains a rainbow. So leave your car idling. It's good for the environment. Plastic comes from oil. It's like having a piece of sun in your garbage. Put some oil in the fridge. Help soak up odors. And even if you do not like oil, remember, oil pollution kills plants, which means there will be less oil in the future. So if you are against oil, use more oil.
It comes from sunshine.
Sort of.
A message from Canada's oil producers.
Sort of.
So you get the idea. And in the narrow sense of the meaning, they are correct. But in the big picture, it's completely wrong. So the cooperation between science is very important. That's why we are here. That's why the purpose of this summit, from different fields of science, we are here to interact with each other in order to make real sustainability happen. And then you see how important you people are. The issue is, who knows you? Who respects you in the society? We respect each other here, but we are in the bubble. Who respects you in the society? That's a sustainable issue, a sustainability issue. So you saw how important you are for the world's future, but are you known in the society? No. Who are the real stars of the society? You don't gather people around like these people gather. If they were in the room, there'd be many press from Mexico here. We don't have any from press here, although they were invited. They say, oh, a bunch of scientists, we don't care about them. If she is here, they'll be all here. So that's why we are not respected enough in society. That's why the engineering degrees in Japan are fallen by 20%, in Germany by 16%, in USA by 6%. This is a real sustainability issue. Nobody wants to become scientist engineer. Why? Because they look at you as like working horses. To me also, I'm the same. Because you are not respected, and the policy of some companies not to send the people in the conferences in the nice resort like this. Why? Because they go in the beach. The idea is it's an investment. You honor people that work hard. So we've changed this reality, and that's why you have this poll in Italy that I'm repeating. 95% want to have him to be a movie star. And then how they treat, this is the last video actually, how they treat the scientists. Although you see that how big we influence the world, but look at this BBC video.
I'm John, and I'm going to give you a guided tour of the latest revolution in computer technology, the Mac-Tini, the smallest computer in the world. You'll notice it only has one key, but it still performs all the functions
Look at the
of
face.
a regular keyboard. For instance, if I want to type the
Face
letter
of a
A,
scientist,
I
according to
press
them.
it once. For the letter Z, I press it, you guessed it, 26 times. Okay, how about punctuation? For a comma, I hold it down for 4 seconds, release it for 2, and then rat-a-tat-tat. This and all the other combinations are explained in the manual. The Mactini is also a fully integrated entertainment system.
Look at the face.
It's perfect for listening to music, watching movies, or even giving a business presentation. Since I started this commercial, we've brought out a newer, smaller computer, the Mactini Nano, rendering this one obsolete. Thanks for watching.
So it's very clear. And now, what's the solution here? That's why we have set up this company, which is not profitable one. And everybody is invited to be involved. We open to everybody. To increase the role of science and engineering, the role of scientists in the society, the role of mining, mineral processing, extraction, materials, of entire cycle. That's why this conference, this summit includes all the honoring scientists, engineers around the world, very well-known companies around the world, and inviting plenary and keynote lectures in many countries we have given numerously in the last years. So we have attracted very knowledgeable people from ministers, prime ministers, CEOs, astronauts in our team. So anyone is interested is open with suggestion, involvement, and so on. We have some kind of achievement. You remember the guy. I had a debate with him. 1 year later, the same guy came in the stage, in the same room, and said, he started to speak about technology and the technological role on sustainability. And I told him, good that you are now on my side to change your mind. But it's not a normal level, though. It is a special advisor of the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. But he's an economist, not an exact science scientist. And then we were able to change his mind. We had an achievement before doing FREY International Symposium in 2011 here in this room. We contacted the Queen of England because it's a Cambridge professor. And then we invited her to come here, and I did the entire letter. It is in the website. I challenged her to honor scientists and engineers that are nowhere in her view. I told her, the letter is there, that you have honored anyone besides any scientists or engineers. And it was effective. I got a reply. I cannot publish in the website because it's private and confidential. But the letter was in May. In September, it was established as a charity, Queen Elizabeth Prize for Engineering. In 2 weeks before FREY International Symposium, it was launched by Prime Minister of England, Cameron, in the National Science Museum. And then, strangely enough, you have the video in the world and so on, in the website. He almost uses the same words I use in the letter to the Queen. You can compare yourself in the website. But Queen Elizabeth Prize of Engineering is about $2 billion. It's competing with Nobel Prize. It's the first engineering prize. This is not everything. It's just something, you know. We are not achieving too much with the prize. We have to be aware in the society. That's why we have organized a symposium once in a while dedicated to people that have been retiring, well known in the society. We had Yazawa International Symposium in Japan, from Japan, but it was done in San Diego, California in 2003. We had the second one in San Diego, California in 2006 for an American professor. We had FREY here, Professor FREY is here. We had the same meeting here in 2011, and this time what we are doing is another pioneer, a Nobel Prize winner, Danny Shetman. We tried hard to be president of Israel, couldn't, but this is the second, probably there is a second try, like Hillary Clinton. So, that's where we are, and now I'm leaving the world, the stage and the world actually to Professor Shetman to explain us the real history of quasi-crystals. Please.